All right, so what we're here today, I want to talk about pips. Want to actually understand lot sizes. Want to understand what else? How to calculate your take profit and your stop loss, because one thing a lot of people actually do is, yes, we can drop the trade setups on the group chat, and people are asking, what is the stop loss? What is the take profits? Now, people need to understand that when trade setups are dropped like that, right, you are supposed to calculate how much you are willing to risk on that trade, right? The person who dropped the trade signal or the setup might be willing to risk, let's say 50 pips, right? Or the person should have an amount he wants to risk. Let's say I'm willing to risk $50 of my account. Now you on the other hand that has a smaller amount in your trading account, right? You're not going to use the same stop loss as that person, right? That's why most times, just like Alex dropped a trade setup, I think that was yesterday, most people were asking, what's the stop loss? What's the SL? You need to understand that what Alex is willing to risk is going to be totally different from what you're going to risk as well, right? Even if, yes, you're saying 50 pips, SL, all that, you still need to calculate based on what you have in your trading account. So today, I want us to actually understand that, right? So first of all, the first thing I want to talk about is the meaning of, let's talk about meaning of pips, right? Start with the meaning of pips. So just hold on, guys. Just give me 1 minute. All right, so I guess everybody can see my screen. So pips, or a pip actually means what? Percentage in points. And a pip is the smallest price movement, right, that any asset can make, right? Do you guys understand? It's the smallest price movement. So if you have a currency, let's just say, I just want to give this example, just like we have the way the Naira to dollar exchange rate keeps increasing. Today is 600, it's increasing to 601, 602, the next thing is 615, right? Every single move it makes, right? 600 to 601, that's a pip, right? So you need to understand that every point or every price, the smallest price change an asset is making in the market, right? You can actually call that a pip, right? So now what we want to do is understanding, should I say understanding how to identify pips, or, okay, let me show you guys this. I actually was looking for what to share with you guys. And this site is already on. If you check your Forex quick start, I've already updated that file, right? So basically everybody has access to this. So everybody has access to this. I dropped the link on the quick start, right? If you check the quick start, it's, where did I put it? Okay, let me just refresh. But I'm sure everybody has this already, right? So if you don't have it, I'm still going to drop it on WhatsApp, right? It's already there. Like, I'm going to show you guys. So if you actually come here, you're going to see how to count pips. What is a pip in trading, right? Measure pips in various examples, right? So they still give us the example definition of what a pip is, right? Pip, price interest, is a measurement of unit for asset movements, right? Representing lowest price increase, right? So it's already been given here, right? And they also gave us this example. But now what I want to do is, I'm not here to like read through all these things. right? I'm just going to go straight to the point. I'm just going to give us a quick example, right? Very, very quick example. So I'm going to use, let me look for any currency pair, something like Euro USD, right? Something like Euro USD. Or let me just pick, okay, USD card. USD card. Now, for you guys that don't know, right, TradingView, this TradingView, especially those that are new on the call. So if you actually look at this, right, USD card, this is the current market price, right? So if you look at what is shown here, 1.28072, that's the current market price of USD card. So let me do something. Let me just hide all this so that it doesn't confuse anybody. Right. Let me just hide everything so that we just have the blank chart. Right. So USD card, this is it. I think I should use my whiteboard instead. Right. Okay, but let me just show you guys this real quick. Let me use my whiteboard instead. Just hold on. All right, so just pay attention, right? So that you're going to get it. Just pay attention. So for Forex pairs, right? Once we're dealing with Forex pairs, just like I showed you guys, right? We have two ways of counting pips when we're dealing with Forex pairs. Now, I need you guys to note that the first one, right? The first one is for currency pairs that contain what? USD, right? So if a currency pair contains, what do they call it? USD, right? If a pair contains USD, right, there's a different way we calculate the pips, right? Let me just share screen again so sure everybody is able to see and everybody understands, right? So we have USD pairs, right? USD pairs, they have a different way of counting pips. So let's take for an example, right? Euro USD. You guys shouldn't laugh at my handwriting, right? I'm not used to writing on tab. All right, so USD, Euro USD, let's say we had this. This was the price, right? 1.13215. You're about to laugh at my handwriting. All right, so guys, just look at this. So if we are counting pips in any currency, right? In fact, this is how you count pips, like USD and any other pair that does not contain JPY, right? And any pair that doesn't have JPY. That doesn't have JPY. This is how you count it, right? The fourth and fifth, the third and fourth number after the decimal is your pip, right? So for Euro USD, right, this is your pip, right? This is your pip. 21, that's the number you count as your pip, right? So for USD pairs and any other pair that does not have JPY, it's the fourth and fifth number, right, in the price. So when you hear people saying, oh, the market moved 30 pips, what do you think, right? If we are buying, where's the market supposed to go up? I don't know. What direction is the market supposed to move? If we're actually taking a buy, is the market supposed to go upwards or is it supposed to come downwards? Can somebody write it in the chat? Like if the market was to buy, right? Market is going to go up, right? So if I actually say the market moved, right? This is the current market price, right? This is the current market price. This 1.13215. So if we're saying the market moved 30 pips, what do you think the current market price of Euro USD is going to be after 30 pips move, right? I simply do what? I simply add 30 to this 21, right? Since the third and fourth number is our pip, right? Plus 30. So if I add plus 30, it's going to be what? If I add plus 30, it's going to be 1.13515, right? So at this current market price, the market would have moved how many pips? 30 pips. It's very, very easy, right? It's very, very easy. So now let's actually assume this, right? Let's assume it. Now that was for a buy, right? Because the market is supposed to move upwards if we're actually buying, right? The market is going to move upwards if we're buying. So now if I wanted to sell, right? And I say, okay, the market is expecting to drop 50 pips. What do you guys think my current market price will be after 50 pips, right? After 50 pips, it's going to be something like this. This market price minus how many? 50, right? Minus 50. So if you actually calculate this, what do you think the current market price will be? Now you guys need to understand that there is an imaginary 0.00, just like this, right? So if you're punching it on your calculator, you need to understand that there's an imaginary 0. Has anybody punched it? Has anyone punched it? I don't know if you guys understand. If you're not understanding, I am willing to explain over and over and over again, right? If you don't understand, I'm willing to explain as many times as possible so everybody gets it. All right, so I'm going to start again, right? I'm going to explain again. I'm going to explain again. You don't understand the subtracting parts. Okay, fine. So, like I said, I don't know if you guys are taking notes, but try as much as possible to take notes, right? Because I'm not going to write everything out on this whiteboard, right? I said for any pair that contains USD, in fact, as far as the pair does not contain JPY in it, right? Look at this. If any pair that has USD, right? USD and does not have JPY. If the current market price is 1.1325215, let's say 215, right? The third and fourth number is what you're counting as pip. Now, any pair that contains JPY, right? Let me say example, USD JPY. It is going to look like this instead. For any pair that has JPY, the pip is the first and second after the decimal, right? For pairs that don't have JPY, pip is what? The fourth, the third and fourth, right? Does not have JPY, third and fourth. Includes JPY, it's what? First and second. So you need to understand that there are different ways to calculate or to count pips or to identify pips. So I'm repeating myself one more time. If the pair does not have JPY in it, now a pair that does not have JPY, GBP USD, USD CAD, right? AED CHF, Euro USD, NZD USD, Euro GBP, all these pairs that don't include JPY, if you want to count the pips, right, it is the third and fourth number after the decimal point. Now, pairs that have JPY in them, examples, USD JPY, AED JPY, GBP JPY, CHF JPY. These pairs, to count their pips, it's what? The first and second number after the decimal point. So now, if I was to give an example for pairs without JPY, take notes, right? If this was current market price, let's say a trade signal came in, right? A trade signal came in and they told you to buy at this price, 1.13215. If you're buying, the market is expected to go what? Market is expected to go up. So if the market is expected to go up, what's going to happen to this current market price? It's going to increase, right? So if they tell you to set your take profit, since we are buying, set take profit at 50 pips, what is going to happen, right? That means I'm adding plus 50 pips to get what? Take profit. That means I'm adding what? Plus 50 pips to what? Get my take profit. So if I was the kind of person that likes risking, what they call it? If I was the type of person that likes risking, let's say 30 pips on every trade, right? My stop loss is going to go where? My stop loss is always at the bottom. So that means I'm minusing what? 30 pips from this same current market price, right? And if I minus 30 from 1.13215, what's the answer going to be? What's going to be my stop loss? 1.13215. What is going to be my stop loss? What do you think my stop loss will be? Minus 30 from that, right? 1.1 what? Let me actually punch it so that I'm sure you guys are calculating the right thing. It's actually going to be 1.12915, right? This is going to be my SL, right? So since my TP is supposed to be 50 pips, what do you think my take profit price? What am I going to set on my MetaTrader as my take profit? What do you think I'm going to set on MetaTrader as take profit? 717. Look at the numbers. 1.13215. What's going to be my TP if the market was supposed to buy? Yvonne, correct. Uche, correct. Right? My take profit is going to be what? 1.13715. This is how I simply calculate my what? Stop loss, right? So it's very, very easy to understand. Now, this was a buy example, right? This was a buy example. Now, if I say, let's try out what? A sell example, it's going to be different, right? For sell, where's the market going to? If we're expected to sell, is the market direction going to go upwards or is going to come down? If we're supposed to sell, where do you think the market is going? Is it going upwards or is coming down? Right? If we're selling, the market is doing what? It's coming down, right? So since there's going to be what? There's going to be decrease, right? There's going to be decrease in the market. We are going to do what? Subtract. for TP. The market is coming down instead, right? So if I was to sell, right? If I was to sell at this same market price, and I wanted my take profit to be, let's say I wanted my take profit to be 25 pips, right? Yes, 25 pips TP. What do you think my TP for sell is going to be? If I wanted to sell at 1.13215, and I said I want my TP to be 25 pips TP, what do you think my take profit is going to be? Since we're subtracting for TP, once we are selling. Since we are selling, what is it going to be? Bonnie, let me see your answer. Guys, 25 pips, 25. You guys are getting drunk. 717, that's correct. 717, please try and rename, change your name, right? So your TP is actually going to be 1.12965, right? 1.12965. That is going to be your TP. Now, let me show you how, Bonnie. Let me show you how, right? See, this is how you guys should calculate this, right? I know the very first time it's going to look strange. It's going to look quite confusing. Let's go back to secondary school. Minus 25. Where am I focusing on? Here. So this is where I'm putting my 25. 5 minus what? An imaginary 0 is what? 5. 11 minus 5 is what? 6. Right? So 32 minus what? 31 minus 2 is what? It's 29. 1, 1. That's it. Right? That is it. It's simple. Like, you don't need to confuse yourself. If you're using your phone to punch it or to calculate it, now this is what you do, right? If you're using your phone to calculate it, always add imaginary 0.00 what? 25. Just punch it like this on your phone. It's going to give you the answer, right? It's going to give you the answer. It's going to give you the answer. So this is going to be your TP, right? If you're actually selling, right? TP. So now if I wanted a 40 pips SL, right? If I wanted this 40 pips SL, for sell, this is what it looks like. Market price is going to be here, right? Market price is actually going to be here. Then what? SL is going to be beneath. And what happens? TP is going to be above. And sorry, what am I doing? I'm doing for buy, actually. Just give me a minute. Let me try this. Okay, for sell, market price, right? SL is going to be on top, and TP. TP is always at the bottom, right? Because you're expecting market to do what? Market to drop down, right? So if you're expecting market to drop down, you're subtracting. You minus from current market price, right? While for buy, you're doing the exact opposite. If you're told to buy something, right, the market price is here, your SL is at the bottom, and at the top, take profit because you're expecting market to do what? To buy, right? So TP SL, for buy, right? While for sell, SL at the top, CP at the bottom. So this is like what you should just keep at the back of your, should I say your head or your mind, right? Always remember this. It's not difficult. It is very, very simple. So one thing is, after we talk about calculating pips and everything, I'm going to tell you guys the lot sizes and why you should not take big lot sizes. I'm actually going to explain all that for everybody, right? So let me be sure we all understood how to calculate take profit and stop loss for currency pairs that doesn't have JPY. If we're good to go, just drop yes in the chat, or maybe drop a 1 so that we can go to the next thing. One will talk about pairs for JPY, right? I don't need to waste so much time explaining this, right? It's very, very straightforward. If you watch it again, you understand. So if you're good to go, drop a 1. If you don't understand, drop 2. If you're good to go, drop 1. If you don't understand, drop 2, and good to go, right? So Bonnie, hope you understand. Hope you understand. Okay, so everybody understands. So now let us talk about currency pairs that have JPY, right? Currency pairs that have what? JPY. So JPY. Examples are what? Who can give me an example of JPY pairs, right? Give me like examples of JPY pairs in the chat. JPY pairs, you know, you've come across GBP JPY, USD JPY, or JPY, Euro JPY, right? CHF JPY, CAD JPY, NZD JPY. All of them have the same way of calculating what their stop loss, take profits. They have the same way of counting pips, right? So remember that if you're dealing with pairs that don't have JPY, your pip count is going to start from the what they call it, the third and fourth number after the decimal point. Now, pairs with JPY, right, is going to look something like this. It's going to look something like this. So you're focusing on the first and second number after the decimal. Now, right? So if we are supposed to take a buy trade, for an example, right? If I wanted to buy, well, what pair should I give? Let's say this price was for USD JPY, right? Now, if I wanted to buy USD JPY at that price, if I drop a trade signal and I said buy USD JPY, JPY at 113.215, and I said set your TP 60 pips and your SL 30 pips. What am I actually going to set my TP as on my MetaTrader 4 once I click on buy? What do I set my TP as? Let me see how many people are going to get it. What am I going to set my TP as on MT4? NK. All right, FUSA, correct. Who else? Who thinks we are supposed to have a different answer? Right, 113.815. Now that's correct, right? Because for buy, right, if this is it, on your MT4, right? If you're buying, this is it. So if your TP is this, and I say 60 pips, that means you're adding 60 to the first and second number after the decimal, right? So plus 60 up is going to be 113.815. So now what do you think the stop loss is going to be? Right? If we are to calculate 30 pips stop loss, what's stop loss going to look like? Stop loss is going to be what? 112.915. Amazing. That is it. So simple, right? So it is very, very simple. For SL, I just minus 30 from this, right? SL is going to be 112.915. That is how to simply calculate, right, for JPY pairs, right? If the stop loss is not given to you and they just tell you, oh, calculate your TP to be 60 pips in profit, right? Or SL 30 pips, right? Risk 30 pips. Target is 60 pips. This is how you actually calculate it, because most people just drop the signals and say, oh, I'm targeting for 100 pips. I'm targeting for 60 pips. So once you hear something like that, this is what you're supposed to do, right? So now we are just going to do an example for sell, right? An example for sell. And once we are done with this, we'll go to talking about lot sizes. Then we'll actually see how people blow their accounts, right? By using big lot sizes. And with the knowledge we've learned on how to calculate stop, take profit and stop loss. Zikora Miles, yes, it's the same on every trading platform, whether it's MT5 or MT4, the same thing is applied. So now, if we're actually trading this and I wanted what? I wanted to sell, right? Let's say I wanted to sell. TP what? 70 pips. SL what? 35 pips. Who can give me the answer? If I wanted to sell, who can give me the answer? Who can give me the answer? Sell. Mm-hmm. Just a few people have dropped answers. I can't see other people's answer. All right, 112.5. 0.5 what? 515. This is going to be your stop loss because we're expecting price to what? To drop what? 70 pips. Right? So SL is going to be what? Someone has already calculated it. Wow, that's sharp. SL is going to be what? What is going to be my SL? Let me see the chat box. Let me see what you guys are saying. All right. 565, 565. Okay, 565. Amazing. All right. So that's the answer. Right. 113.565. That's going to be my SL. Right. So now I want to believe everybody understands calculating stop loss and take profit. Right. I want to believe everybody now understands it. Do we understand it? Do we understand it? Yes. right? Everybody understands it. Okay, so now let's move to the next thing, right? Let's move to the next thing real quick so that we can finish up on time, right? So now the next thing we are going to talk about is lot sizes, right? The next thing we're going to talk about is lot sizes. So many of you do not really know what the lot sizes are, but most of us have been entering with one lot size, right? 0.5, 0.2, 0.02, 0.01, right? Now, before you start using lot sizes, it's very, very important that you should understand what these lot sizes mean, right? Right. So now we have 3 types of lot sizes. I don't know how many of you have come across lot sizes, but is there anybody that can mention it in the chat? The 3 types of lot sizes we have. We have 3 types of lot sizes. Can you guys help me out? The names, not the numbers. All right, so somebody has mentioned them, right? Micro, mini, standard, that's correct. So we have micro, we have the mini, we have the standard, right? So this is what you guys need to understand, right? Let me make this in a tabular form. I'm making it in a tabular form. So the micro lot sizes are from anywhere between 0.01 to what? 0.09, right? It's my handwriting. I hope you guys are seeing it. But just listen to me. Don't pay attention to my handwriting. If not, you blow your account. So micro lot size 0.01 to 0.09. That's if you're using anywhere between 0.01 to 0.09, you are using what? You're going to be making what? Sorry, let me not say you're going to be, I don't talk about the amounts yet. If you're using anywhere between 0.01 to 0.09, you're still in the range of what? The micro lot size, right? Now, for the mini lot size, it's when you enter 0.1 to what? 0.99. 0.1 to 0.99, you're in the range of what? Mini. Now, standard lot size, 1 to infinity, right? Infinity can mean what? Can mean what? 10 lot size. It can mean what? 5 lot size. It can mean 100 lot size. Depends on what lot size and how big your account is. If you're using an account, a lot size of 100, only God knows how much you have in that account, right? So I need you guys to understand this real quick. And this is what these lot sizes give us, right? When we're trading. So if we are using the 0.01 lot size, what we are going to be making is 10 cents, right? Cents is just the same way we have kobo when we're talking about naira, right? 100 kobo, just that, 50 kobo, all that. 100 kobo makes what? 1 naira, right? Am I correct? 100 kobo makes 1 naira. 10 cents, right, is just like kobo. So if I'm saying 100 cents makes what? It's going to make what? It's going to make $1, right? 100 cents is going to make $1. So now for every pip the market is moving, if you're using the micro lot size, you're going to be making what? 10 cents. So let me give you guys this example. Just like we had our example 1.13215. So if the market moves to this 1 pip, 1.13225, right? It moved 1 pip. If you notice, an addition of what? Plus 1 pip. If you're using the micro lot size, right, you're going to make this. Your MT4 is going to be showing this. But let me actually use the right color. right? Your MT4 is going to be showing you something like this. You'll be 10 cents in profit, right? Why? Because you're using the micro lot size. The micro lot size gives you 10 cents for every pip the market is moving, right? This market moved from 2-1 to what? 2-2. So now, if I say the market moved 50 pips, right? If I say the market moves 50 pips, who can tell me what the current market price is going to be? Who can tell me what the market price is going to be? We've been calculating it since, right? If I say 50 pips, who can tell me what the price is going to be? If the market is moving 50 pips, what's the market price going to be like? All right, Professor, thank you so much. So it's going to be what? The market price is going to be 1.13715. So now, I just told you something. If the market moves, Bolaji, you're calculating for JPY pairs. I'm talking about, look at what I showed you. Just by what I showed you, you already know what I'm talking about, right? So if the market gives me 10 cents for 1 pip, if it gives me 10 cents for 1 pip, how much do you think I am going to be in profit if the market moves 50 pips? Let me see who's sharp or who's fast enough, right? If I can make 10 cents for just 1 pip, now if the market moves to this price, how much do you think I would have made? It's simple. If I can get 10 cents for 1 pip, for 50 pips, it's simply what? 50 times 10 cents, right? So I'm going to be in profit $5, right? Do you actually see, right? So I'm going to be in profit of $5. That is how to relate this thing, right? That is how to relate this thing. Now, right, if I say my stop loss is supposed to be 30 pips, right? If my, who's saying it's small? Bonnie, I'm not talking about what you're gaining. Please understand this one. Leave whether it's small or you blow your account. Though. I've told you before. You blow that account. So if you're supposed to set a stop loss of what? Of 30 pips. And people like money too much. 30 pips SL. So if I say 30 pips SL, right? Now, how much do you think I am going to lose once the market gets to what? 30 pips SL? If 1 pip is giving me what? $10, right? So if I'm supposed to lose and my SL is what? 30 pips, I'm going to be losing what? It's going to be like this. You're going to see it red on your MetaTrader 4 or 5, right? So now this gives you an indication that if you have a $100 account, right? If you have a $100 account and a trade idea is dropped on, let's say, Euro USD, and they give you what? They give you stop loss, they give you take profit, they give you everything, right? For you to be able to manage your risk by yourself, right? You need to be able to know how much you're willing to lose on that trade, right? I can actually give you a trade signal like this. Let me just show you guys something like this, because I need you guys to start calculating your own TP and SL, and I need you guys to know trades that are good for you or not, right? You're able to identify a trade that's not good for you. So if I had a trade signal like this, right? If I had a trade signal like this, and if I say buy at this, or let me use sell. I've been using buy for so long, right? Let me use sell. Sell at this price. And now I give you TP of what? If I give you something like this, and I give you an SL like this, let me calculate this. If I give you an SL like this, now can you tell me how many pips TP I gave you guys and how many pips TP SL I actually gave you guys? If I gave you this as your entry, and I gave you TP as 1.13309, can you tell me how many pips TP I gave you? All right, I need more answers. I need more answers. $50 pips, right? So let's say this is 50 pips. Now, someone should calculate the SL. Someone should calculate the SL. The SL is how many pips? Calculate it very well. Calculate it very well. Someone has gotten the answer right. Calculate it very well. You guys are getting it wrong. Look at it very well. Look at the entry price. Look at the stop loss I gave you. Bonnie, look at it well. Cannot be 10 pips stop loss. Look at it very well. Uche, I've seen your answer. Tell me, look at it very well. Don't be in a rush to calculate it. Look at it. Imole, you said 9. That is very, very wrong. People saying 100. Very, very, very wrong. Wala do. Wala do. All right, so just chill. Let me see. Someone said, this is not a JPY pair now. Only looking at the decimals, you already know if it's a JPY pair or not. You have 1.13809. It is not a JPY pair, right? If you want to get, you know how many pips difference, it's simply what? You simply use the SL to minus what? The entry price, right? The SL minus the entry price is going to give you your how many pips it is. So this is 90 pips, right? Now, from the example we understood, right? If this hits take profit, how much are we going to make, right? If this hits TP, how much do you think we'll make, right? You can see that the TP is a 50 pips take profit, right? The TP is a 50 pips take profit, right? So how much do you think you'll be making on that? How much do you think you'll be making on that? If you're using a micro lot size, you're going to be making what? You're going to be making $5, right? Now, if this trade hits stop loss, what do you think we'll be losing? If it hits stop loss, what are we going to be losing? $9. $9. Now, I want you guys to tell me something. Is this trade worth it? Does this look like a trade you'll be willing to take? Does this look like a trade you'll be willing to take? How can you be risking $9 to just make $5 profit? Do you actually understand? Do you actually understand? Right? You're risking $9. You're risking as much as 90 pips to just make what? 50. It's supposed to be the other way around, right? So one thing you need to understand, it is not every trade signal that drops, you rush and enter. Most of you don't even look at the stop loss size. You just rush and enter it. That's the problem we have, right? We've not taken our time to properly understand pips, calculation, take profit, lot size, all these things, right? We are just rushing to copy trades, take trade signals. You need to understand this thing, right? So there are some trade signals that will drop. And once I see the stop loss is bigger than what I can achieve when it hits TP, guess what? I'm not taking it, right? I'm not taking it. Do you understand? Now, you guys need to be very, very careful, right? Trade signals, yes, they are good to take, but sometimes you actually need to think, can I risk $9 of my account balance? If you can risk $9, fine, you can take the trade though. Guess what? If you know that your account is in a state that you can be able to lose $9 and be okay with it, right? Yvonne, why do they make such calculations? It's because where the stop loss is set can be like the last place the market got to, like that could be like a resistance area, that could be like a support area. So you know that if market wants to reverse, it might possibly go back to that area. So that's why they set stop loss there. You know that in trading, once you're targeting for TPs, you're targeting areas of structure. So stop loss too is the same thing, right? So Uche, this should have been the first video watch in onboarding. Yes, I'm going to add the recording to your newbies, what you can watch once you're starting. So like I was saying, please, it's very, very important. It's not just by taking every trade signal. You need to understand, is the TP far more than what I'm willing to risk as SL? If it is, take that trade, right? You know that, okay, even if you lose something, at least you are aiming for much more bigger, right? So trade signals that I would be happy to take, right, are trades that have the risk to reward as 1:2. I know a lot of people have been asking, what's risk to reward? Risk to reward. Risk to reward simply means the ratio of what you're risking to what you're targeting. If I'm risking 30 pips and I'm targeting 30 pips, my risk to reward ratio is what? 1:1, right? If I'm risking what? 30 pips and I'm targeting what? 60 pips, my risk to reward ratio is what? 1:2. So when people are asking what's the risk to reward of this trade, or if I say risk to reward ratio is 2, you actually know that I'm talking about SL TP times 2 of SL, right? TP is going to be times 2 of SL. That's what I mean. If I'm risking 30, I should be able to gain times 2 of that. This is a very nice trade to take, right? 1:1 is good, right? 1:1 is good. But you don't want to be taking something like reward of 1, then risk is like 3. Now, this is the wrongest type of trade you can take, right? So it's not advisable. So always go for trade signals that once you calculate your TP, you know that, okay, TP is 30 pips, right? Okay, SL, 15 pips. Okay, risk to reward ratio is what? 1:2. I like this kind of trade. Those are the kind of trades I'm taking, right? So I hope everybody understood this part. 2:1 is bad. 2:1 is bad, right? I don't take those kind of trade signals. And I don't know if you have the kind of account, or if you're the kind of person that just likes to risk those kind of trades, then you can take it. I'm not telling you not to take it, but you can actually take it. So now we are done with what? We are done with what's that? The micro lot size. Exactly, Bonnie, you calculate before you take trades. Can we, let me see. Can we adjust the setting based on our account size? Based on your account size, if a trade signal is dropped, I think what you can do is you should be able to adjust the stop loss, right? Be able to adjust the stop loss. Like if I'm giving a trade that has 50 pips stop loss, right? If I am not willing to lose what, $5, if I am using what, the micro lot size, I know how to calculate what, 30 pips, right? So if I say I want to be risking $3 only per trade, that means all the signals I'm receiving, I'm going to be setting my SL as what, 30 pips, right? I don't have to use the one that the signal provider sent. I'm only saying it, right? But if you want to enter the trades like that, quite all right, you can take it. But if I'm the kind of person that wants to practice proper risk management, right, I'm only permitted to do what? Edit the stop loss, set it to my own 30 pips because I only want to lose what, $3 from this trade idea. Do you understand? Right. So how many cents is for 0.02? So 0.02 is what? Is times 2 of 0.01, right? If you're making what? If you're making 10 cents on a 0.01 lot size, 0.02, you're going to be making times 2. So you're going to be making 20 cents, right? 20 cents. So if your TP is what? If your TP is 50 pips, you're going to be making what? You're going to be making $10, right? It's just times 2 of what you've been making for 0.01. Right? It's just times 2 of 0.01. So if you're using 0.09, just know that it's going to be what? Times 9. So you're going to be making what? 90 cents, right? You're going to be making 90 cents per pip, right? So if your TP is also what? 50 pips, that means you'll be making what? $45, right? It's simple calculation, right? It's very, very simple to understand. Don't worry, you guys, there are videos for you. The thing is that most of you've not come across it. Maybe I think I'm going to point out videos that you can watch, right? So we are done with micro lot sizes, right? So let's just take examples for the mini, right? So for the mini lot size, if you're using 0.1 all the way down to 0.99, you're making what? You're going to be making you're going to be making $1 per pip, right? If you're using the mini lot size, you're going to be making $1 per pip. Now, I think I know why people like using mini lot size, even if they have small accounts, because they just want to make money. They're in a hurry to make money. And you need to understand that the bigger the lot size is, the bigger the money. And what? If you hit stop loss, the bigger the loss. So you need to pay attention. You need to be very, very careful, right? If I take a trade, and so sorry, let me just share screen again. Right. Okay, still showing. So if I take a trade and my TP, which I am actually targeting, right? TP is what? 60 pips. How much will I be making, right? If I am making what? $1 per pip with the mini lot size, for a TP of 60 pips, it's going to be what? How much do you think I'll make? How much do you think I'll make? Someone says $60. Is this $60? Zikora miles. We're talking about the mini lot size. We've left micro. We're talking about mini. So I need more answers. I need to see a correct answer. Williams, $60. All right, so guys, keep dropping answers. All right, so we are going to be making what? Someone says $60. We are going to be making $60, right? Because using 0.1, we are actually making what? we're actually making $1 per pip. So if we're making $1 per pip, right, for 60 pips is simply what? $1 times 60, which is what? $60, right? So if I was using a lot size of, this is with what? This is with 0.1. 0.1. So if I was using 0.2 for what? 60 pips, it means I'm going to be making what? Times 2, right? So it's going to be like 2 times what? 60. I'm going to be making $120 if the trade hits TP at 60 pips. Or after 60 pips, I should be making what? $120 profit. Right? You need to understand that it's just simple calculation. It's not something that should confuse you. Right? So now you need to understand that if I am to take a trade, right? If I'm take a trade like this, if I'm take a trade that has a TP, right? That has a TP of what? Of 100 pips and an SL of 50 pips. I'm going to be making what? $100 once that trade hits TP. And if he hits stop loss, I'm going to be losing what? $50. So you need to understand before you rush into a trade with a big lot size, right? You need to understand that this trade that was just dropped, if he hits take profit, yes, I can make as much as $100. But guess what? If he hits SL, right? And example of trade signals that have 50 pips stop loss, right? Gold, right? If you use 0.1, trust me, you're going to be losing $50 out of that your $100 account. You're going to be left with a balance of $50. And trust me, you don't want it to be so, right? You don't want it to be so. So you need to understand, right? You need to discipline yourself. Proper risk management. I'm actually going to drop, it's a game of mind, okay? But once you're left without money, then trust me, it's a different ballgame, right? So if you want to take trades like that, right, always go for this. I'm going to drop the risk management chart. It's there. So I don't know why we find it hard to like just follow it, right? I don't want us to keep doing the wrong thing and keep blowing accounts, keep losing money, all that, right? Can we adjust the SL to 20 pips or less when using 0.1? It's not about adjusting. See, it's not just about adjusting your own. The educator might have, or the signal provider might have a reason why that stop loss should be there. It's maybe trying to, let me share my screen. Let me show you guys something real quick. Just hold on. Let me show you guys something real quick. Let me share screen on my laptop. Right? Let me share screen on my laptop. Okay. Let me show you guys this. Just hold on. Let me show you guys this real quick. All right. So now some educators tend to do this, right? If I wanted the market to do what? If I wanted the market to sell from this point, right, down, if I'm expecting the market to sell, what some educators do, right, is that they are targeting areas of former resistance and support. So I can say, okay, this was what? This was a pivot point, or this was a resistance, or should I call it, yes, former resistance. This area here, right? This area here, because of this, right? If I'm selling, this is what it's going to be like, right? If I'm selling, it's going to be something like this. They're going to put the target somewhere here, right? Most educators or signal providers will do this, right? The target is here, and the stop loss, the last high, this is it. This is the last high over here, right? So they might put the stop loss here. Now look at risk to reward ratio is what? is 4, right? Look at the gap of what we're risking, the red part. Now look at what we're trying to gain, the blue part, right? Now, most times, it's not just by you reducing your risk, right? The educator might have a reason. Maybe price might try to come back to this area. So he's going to give you a stop loss that is slightly above this area. So that even if the market does something like this, it comes to this area, it doesn't hit your stop loss, but it still does what? Comes back to TP. So you that actually moves your stop loss, guess what happens? Guess what happens? The market is going to hit your stop loss and come in the right direction. Other people that left their stop loss, they are going to have their trades hit TP. Why yours is going to hit what? It's going to hit SL, right? So it's not just by adjusting your stop loss, it's by using the right lot size so that even if the market pulls all the way to this area, guess what? You're not losing half of your account. You're losing something that you can afford to lose, right? So you need to understand it's not just by adjusting stop loss, or that. You just need to enter with the right lot size, right? You just need to enter with the right lot size. So please, 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 from today, let's try as much as possible to use the right lot size. So now I'm going to go back to sharing my screen, right? Because we've talked about, I think we've talked about pairs like without JPY. We've talked about pairs with JPY. Now let's talk about gold, right? I know that you guys love gold trades. So let me just talk about gold real quick. How to calculate the pips for gold and all that, right? So gold, this is how we calculate gold's XAUUSD. XAUUSD. So gold, you calculate it with what? Whole numbers. So if the current price of gold is 1920, right? This is what you're counting. This is what you're counting. So if gold moves to, or if gold drops by 1, this is what? This is 1 pip, right? If it increases by 1, right? This is 1 pip upwards, right? That's just how to calculate gold, right? If 1920 drops to 1919, that is what? 1 pips if you're selling, right? If the market is dropping, sell. Market is increasing, buy, right? So if you get a trade signal that says buy gold, they say buy gold 1920.50, just like this. 1920.50. If you actually get something like this, buy gold, this is it. This is it here. Don't be confused about the decimal, right? If it increases to 1921.50, this is still what? This is still 1 pip. Do you get 1921 or 22.50? This is what? This is 2. The decimal shouldn't confuse you, right? Do you guys understand? It shouldn't actually confuse you. If this increases to what? 1921.00, it had just moved what? 0.50 pips. It's not yet 1 pip, right? So the decimal should not actually confuse you, right? So gold is whole numbers we are talking about, right? It's whole numbers. If 1920 moves to what? 1921, that's 1 pip. If it moves to 1930, that's what? That's 10 pips, right? So gold is whole numbers. Gold is whole numbers. So if I told you to buy gold 1920, right? Thank God you're saying it, Bonnie. Gold is not for small accounts. I'm happy you're the one actually saying it, so that the day you actually take a trade like that, then you actually know, right? So if I tell you 1920 and I give you a TP of what? If I give you a TP of 1960 and an SL of 1915, how many pips are we targeting at the top? And what's the SL? And now tell me the amount I'm going to make if I use a lot size of 0.01. Also tell me the amount I'm going to make for TPs. Right, so let me see who's going to get it. Tell me how many pips TP 1960 is going to be, and tell me how many pips SL 1915 is going to be. And also tell me if he hits TP, how much will I make if I'm using 0.01? And if he hits SL, how much will I make? Okay, so somebody say Sierra Blue 40, right? 40. So does any other person have does any person have a different answer? Does any person have a different answer? Right, so everybody says 40 pips, right? 40 pips. And the person makes what? $40. No, Uche, you're actually wrong. You guys are making this mistake. Okay, $4, right? All right, okay. 40, then 44 micro. All right, amazing. Amazing. That's correct. That is not correct. 40 pips. Ifoma, where are you getting 160 from? Ifoma, that is not correct though. It's not 160. So this is it right here, right? You're gonna be making this. You're gonna be making $4, right? If you're using 0.01. You're going to be making $4 if you're using what? 0.01. Now, if you're using 0.10, you're making what? You're making $40, right? Because that is what? That's a 40 pips movement. I remember I said if you're using micro lot size, you're using 10 cents per pip, right? You're actually making 10 cents per pip. So 10 cents times 40 is going to give you what? It's actually going to give you $4 on 0.01, right? Then if you're using 0.1, right? Remember you're making $1 per pip, right? So if you have 40 pips, is actually what? $1 times 40, right? So now for the stop loss, look at the stop loss. This is where it's actually going to look tricky, right? So for the stop loss, look at it. 1920 minus what? Minus 1915, right? You're not losing $5. Don't confuse yourself. This is what? This is a 5 pips SL. Do you understand? This is a 5 pips SL. All right, but guys, do you actually understand what I'm saying? If you don't understand, please just let me know. If you don't understand, please let me know what's up. Whole numbers. My days. Yeah, I'm going to send it out. I'm going to send it out. I'm actually going to send it out. I will send it out. All right, so let me see the answer. 0.5 micro, 5 pips is it's not $5 for micro. Press LV, you're making 10 cents per pip. 0.10 times 5 is what? What's 0.10 times 5? That's actually what? 0.50. If you're using micro, right? If you're actually using micro, you get. All right, Gabriel, yeah, your calculation is correct. Amazing. So, guys, what I'm actually going to do is, I'm going to actually see if I can actually find more materials, maybe videos and stuff I can actually send out. Maybe I can attach it, right? But basically, this is everything I wanted to show you guys. And I think I can, let me see if I can equally bring out, let me bring out this. Let me show you guys this. Just hold on. Just hold on. Let me share screen here. Just give me a minute. Let me try to show you guys something. Let me try to show you guys something. There is something I want to show you guys. I'm sure I've posted it on the group before, but I think a lot of you have not come across it, or you've not like checked it, right? So let me share. I know I've actually shared this before on the group. You've been seeing it, but you've been ignoring it, right? Look at this, right? This is actually very, very important. It actually shows you what you should be risking, right? For Forex pairs are your familiar currency pairs, Euro USD, USD JPY, GBP USD, all that, right? All those pairs are your Forex pairs. And this is it. If you have anything between $20 to $100, this is what you're permitted to use. 0.01 to what? 0.03. Now, nobody said you should enter multiple positions. This is the rule for a single trade, right? You either enter a trade of 0.01 to the range of 0.03. Note multiple trades just for one trade. This is the rule, right? So you need to understand that if you're entering multiple positions and this trade hits stop loss, by the time you calculate your SL, you should be knowing how much you're going to lose on that account if it hits SL, right? That is why they are giving us proper risk management. An account of $100 to $500, we are supposed to be using what? 0.03 to 0.05. That is the permitted lot size, right? Permitted lot size. So if you're using more than all these, that means your account is big, right? We should just assume your account is very big. right? See, 0.05 to 0.10 for 500 and above. Those people that have $500 and above, those are the people permitted to use 0.10, but I've been seeing $100 account people using 0.10, which is very, very wrong, right? I'm still going to send this to the group, right? I'll still send this to the group, and I want you guys to still take your time to go across this. So cryptos, BTC, Ethereum, XRP, Ripples, still the same thing, right? Still the same thing. Now, take a look at indices. US 30, NAS 100, right? German 30. All those indices, they are very, very risky. You can actually see that what they said here is what? $20 account to $100 account, only 0.01. It is here. So you're not supposed to go trade NAS 100, US 30 with what? 0.05 on a $100 account. It is forbidden, right? You can actually see it here, right? From $100 to 500. If your account is within the range of above $100 to 500, then you can now use what? 0.02 to 0.03. And all these things you're seeing here, it is on one trade, right? If it is on one trade. Now, if you're entering two entries, so that you probably want to take one at TP1 and the other to write to TP2, you can still enter what? Learn how to manage your risk, right? Instead of entering 0.02, you can enter two positions of 0.01. Close the first one at TP1, the next one goes to TP2. There are so many ways to manage your trade, right? Same thing for 500 to 1000, 0.03. That is the most advisable lot size you should be using, right? If you're using anything other than this, then trust me, you probably just want to blow your account, right? You just want to blow your account. So I don't need you guys to do that. And I have something I wanted to share with you guys. So I think I'll just show you guys this, and maybe I'll send it to the group. I think I've sent it to the group before. It's a Forex, compounding plan, right? Let me show you guys what it looks like, right? I'm actually going to share it to the group, and let me see. I think I have it on my tab. I just need to look for where I kept it. Okay. Okay, so let me share screen here. Now I'll show you guys what it looks like, and I'm going to explain how you can use it as well. All right, so I'm going to explain how you can use it as well. So let me see. All right, so Forex compounding plan. This is what it looks like. Right, I don't know if it's too small, right? But let me just make it a bit big for you guys to see. So this is what it looks like, right? It looks like this. Now, this is it, right? Once you get the compounding plan, once I send it out to you, it's going to look like this. So it has a place where you can fix your name, right? Put your country. That one is just, that's not even necessary, right? That one is just to freestyle and whatever. So for example, you're starting with $100, right? Where it says initial balance, you can fix your amount, right? $100, right? You click here, you come to the bottom, right? Come over to the bottom. If it's $200 you want to start with trading Forex, you put 200, right? At the top here, come to the top here, this area, right? You click here, right? It's going to update $200, right? So if your risk per trade is 3% of your account, right? You can set what? 3%. Now, every day, right? The pip you want to make, right? Just like I've taught you guys how to calculate pips. If you say every single day, I want to what? I want to make a total profit of what? 100 pips. Or I want to make a total profit of what? 50 pips a day. I can come in here, click on where it says 40 and what? And set it as 50 pips, right? So I set it as 50 pips and that is it. So now account goal. By how much do you want to grow this account? How much do you want to achieve, right? So if I say I want to achieve $1,000 with $200, risking 3% per trade, right? And my goal is to make what? 50 pips a day. This is what it's going to look like, right? So if I come here back to compound plan, right? If I come back to compound plan, you're going to see that it has updated, right? Initial balance is what? 200. Risk is 3%. Pip plan, 50 pips. Now, let me actually see if I can make this in light mode. I don't know. Yeah, better. Now you guys can see it better. So now look at new balance, 200, risk per trade, 3%. What? Trades left. It gives me a projection of how many trades I need to take to make what? $1,000. And it gives me a day when I should have achieved it, right? So now, if I take a trade starting with $200, look at, it gives me the lot size I'm supposed to use on that trade, right? It gives me the lot size I'm supposed to use on that trade. I'm supposed to use 0.01. Now, my risk is going to be what? It's going to be $6, right? Now, what I'm supposed to make is what? Is $6. At the end of that trade, I'm supposed to have what? $206. So if I win the trade, what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to come to the green side and tick that I won the trade. Guess what? It updates and it tells me I've won one trade, right? So I move over to what? The next one, right? So now my balance is what? 206. If I win that trade again, if it hits TP, right? If I make this amount 212, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to tick here again. I'm going to tick here again, right? It shows that I've won 2 trades, right? So if I am trying to take the third trade, right, with my balance of 212, I'm trying to make my account go to 218, right? If I lose the trade, I simply click on what? Loss. And guess what? It calculates how much my account is, right? So if I lose this trade, what I'm going to do is what? On the next trade, I'm back to what? 205, right? 205. Someone says, what if I won't win the trade and it's not the exact amount? Guess what? If you win the trade and it's not the exact amount, or you win more than that, you're free to tick all the boxes till you get to that amount your account has reached. But this is just so that you don't overstress your account, you don't overtrade on your account, right? If I'm supposed to what? Make 211 at the end of that single trade, and I end up making what? 230, right? What I'm doing is what? I'm going to tick my way to 230. Right? I'm going to tick my way to that place. Then I continue from there. This is just like a guide, track your progress and everything. It's going to really help you, right? I've used it before, and yeah, it really helps, to be honest. Right? So for those of you that don't know how to risk, properly manage your trades, right? I'll also send this out to, I'm going to send it out to the group, right? I'll actually send it out to the group, or maybe I might just upload it in that Forex quick start document so that everybody is going to have it. So I have this for Forex. I also have it for HFX. It depends on what you guys want, right? So if you want the one for HFX, I equally have it here, right? It's almost the same thing. Let me show you guys. I also have binary options compounding plan. Is same thing, right? It's actually same thing. Starting amount, you put your, if you're starting with $100, now you must tell this how much risk per trade. If you're risking 2% per trade, you put 2 there, right? And click here, it's going to update 2. So now it tells you risk amount is what? $2. Now, if your goal at the end of the day or session, right? Let me say the day, at the end of the day, if my goal is to make 5%, right? I add 5% there. So now this actually tells me that at the end of the day, right? I should be having what? 105 at least, right? Have 105 at least at the end of the day, right? So now, in order for me to properly manage my account, I'm going to stop trading if my balance drops to what? 95. If I lose 5%, I'm actually going to stop trading 95, right? So if it drops to 95, the next day, what I do is this. Let me show you guys this. The next day, what I do is I just come here and impute what? $95. I just put 95. And once I put 95, I tell the system that I am risking 2%. It automatically tells me my risk per trade, right? I'm supposed to risk what? $1.9. If my target for that day is still 5%, right? It's going to tell me the profit I'm supposed to make at the end of the day at least, right? So equally, at the end of the day, my account should be looking like this. Now you can make more than this, right? That's why you have the option to do what? You have the option to impute the amount your account grew to. But note that you should also take this important. Stop trading if your 99, or let's say your $95 drops to what? $90.25, right? Now, if I'm able to make more than $99, let's say, yes, I practiced some bad habits and I made way more than that, and my account grew to what? 130, right? I probably over leveraged on one trade and I got to 130, right? I'm still risking what? I'm still risking $2 per trade, right? So my 2% is what? $2.60, right? If my target is 5% at the end of the day, right? At the end of the session, I'm supposed to have made was $6.50. My account is supposed to be looking like 136, just like that. So this is actually like a guide. You can call it compounding plan, or you can call it whatever you want to call it. But this is for binary options, right? So what I'm going to do is I'll send both of them out: Forex compounding plan, Forex binary options compounding plan. I'm going to send it out to the group, and hopefully everybody tries it out. So far so good. Does anybody have a question? Is there something you don't understand? And just let me know. I can answer you. So I want to stop the recording now, and